the game right after Crusader Kings 3, so no pressure there, right?
None at all. Yeah, we here in the studio played a lot of CK3 when it came out, and we definitely felt some pressure seeing the incredible reception that it got from press and fans. I mean, huge congrats to the team.
Yeah, and you released the game in December. Can you tell us a little bit about that release?
Yeah, of course. So when Empire of Sin was released, the reception was decidedly mixed. So on the one hand, there was a lot of love for the game. People loved the setting, playing as the different bosses, the gangsters, the blend of RPG and empire builder and strategy. But on the other hand, there was also a lot of feedback for us to consider and a good number of issues to address. So we wanted to strengthen what players loved about the game while immediately addressing the things that were getting in the way of them enjoying their experience in Empire of Sin. In addition to a couple of hot fixes right after launch, we've also recently released our first big update.
So it sounds like you have a great community.
Oh, we absolutely do. So our players have been invaluable in guiding our post-launch plans. And as I mentioned, you can already see we've jumped on their biggest issues and most pressing issues and taken those suggestions to heart. In fact, recently we announced 2 new things so that we can make the community's connection to us even better. First, we formed a community council, and we call them the family. So it's a group of active, passionate, and most importantly, super vocal players. And they've already given us some amazing feedback and suggestions that we're following up on. So they're kind of the voice of the community, you'd say, and the dev team is right in there with them. Second, we've created an opt-in beta branch so that all players can test out the development build while it's in production. We're looking forward to continuing to work with our community, of course, and we're continuously gathering feedback in Discord and on the Paradox forums. We're pretty much everywhere.
Wow, so there seems to be a lot of things going on at Romero Games and generally at the development side of the game.
Yeah, there is a lot going on. You know, in Empire of Sin, we believe we have a really great foundation, and we're improving that foundation every day by adding features that players want and building upon the world we've created to deepen the gameplay experience. Players know that we're committed to ongoing development and to support. And like I said, we're in all the forums, we're listening, we've got eyes and ears everywhere. And besides improving the base game, we are really looking forward to releasing our first DLC later this year. So there's big things in store for that. But first, we needed to focus on the 103 and 104 updates.
That's very cool. Can you tell us a little bit about those updates?
Yeah, so 103 is already out there, and that was called the Safe House. So it addressed some critical issues and exploits that our players, well, they helpfully pointed them out to us, as well as fixes and some quality of life updates that players asked for. So it's a big, long list, and they've really been our immediate priority ever since launch, listening to players and focusing on their requests, making sure that the feedback that they provide is getting to us, getting heard, and getting acted upon. So we're all over the forums and Discord, and we're always happy to hear from players. Our next big patch, 104, is known as the Auto Resolve update. That probably gives you an idea precisely what that contains. It is very much anticipated, and there'll be lots of other improvements along with that as well.
All right, so I'm very excited. I'm looking forward for the DLC and all of these updates. And luckily, I get to play the games early.
That's very good for you.
Yeah.
So speaking of games, before we part ways, I want to tell you a bit about an announcement we have to make. So I'm really excited to let everyone know that Empire of Sin will be included on the Xbox Game Pass beginning on March 18th. On console and PC. So if you have Game Pass, please do check us out.
All right. But Brenda, before I let you go, do you have any tips for those newcomer mobsters out there looking to take over Chicago?
I do. So first, reload your gun. That's pretty critical. But probably the real best advice I can give is go check out our forums.
Yep.
And go check out the dev diaries. There's so much advice, and it differs depending on which developer is playing the game. So my favorite boss is Daniel McKee Jackson, but others have other favorites, and all that information's over on the forums.
That's really great advice. So thank you so much for that, Brenda.
Thank you. It was great talking to you, Paula.
With new content and update coming,